Hello guys, welcome to my first video, and in this video I'm going to explain on PHP design pattern, the adapter pattern. Alright, firstly I'm going to create a new file called composer.json, and in this folder and the reason I'm creating this file is that I'm going to autoload the files later on, so it will be easier for us to work on the example. So I'm going to open my terminal and just call composer install. Alright, once I did that, okay, but before that I'm going to autoload the file. Right, and I'm using PSR4 here, and let's specify the directory. So I'm going to create a new directory called source, and inside here let's specify I'm going to call the namespace as app. You guys can call this anything you want, and map it to the source folder. Right. So composer dump out auto load to clear the files. Alright, once this is done, inside this now we are going to create a new, I'm going to explain to you what an adapter pattern is. So basically, just imagine that when for example, we want to read books. So when we want to read books, all right, but before that, let me just create a new, show you by example. All right, so let's create a book class and call a namespace of app. Inside this class we have inside this class, basically, like for example, we want to read a book. So if we want to read a book, first thing first, we have to open the book. All right, and I'm going to just vadam here, and let me say opening the book. Right, if then after I open the book, if I want to turn to the next page, I can turn to the next page. Let's create another function to next page, and vadam turn to the next page to read the content. Alright. So here we have the book class, and inside the book class we have two methods, which is open when we open the book, and then we turn to the next page to read the content of the next page. That's inside the source. Note that this is inside the source folder, and now on the root folder, which is, basically, why did I do that? Let me just rearrange that like that. Okay, so source folder is outside the vendor, and let me create a new file here called index.php. Okay, so here I'm going to create a new class which is person, right? And basically we are the person going to read the book. Right, so inside the person class I'm going to just create a one method called read. Alright, and this read method accept books. Right, it's book, right? Not books, is book. Then book we can call open. If we want to read the book, first we have to open it, and we can turn to the next page. What is the method here? Turn to next page to read the next content of the page. Right. Now we create a new instance here. New person. So this thing is the new syntax for PHP 5. They are introduced in PHP 5.4, and I'm going to call the read method here. Inside the read method, I'm going to specify the book class, which is because we are going to read the book, and I'm going to import the class. So use the class there and import the book. And now when I run this, right? When I run this, I will get an error, and the reason of that is that I need to include or require the autoload file, vendor/autoload.php. I run this again. So me, a person, when I want to read the book, I open the book, and when I want to read the next content of the page, I turn to the next page to read the content. Right. Now imagine if I want to read a Kindle. So if I want to read a book, I open the book and I turn to the next page. For Kindle, right? Create a new class here called Kindle. We don't, for Kindle we don't open the Kindle. Basically we like turn it on. Function turn on. Okay, so turn on the Kindle. So just padam turning on the Kindle. And the next one, when we don't turn to the next page, but we press next button, right? So call the bottom again and just say pressing the next button to change to the other page. All right, so as we can see here, turn on, forget that. Right, as we can see here, this book and Kindle have different methods. So the Kindle has the turn on method and press next button, while the book has open method and turn to the next page. So now inside this, we as the person, we want to read the Kindle. So if I put Kindle there and I import the class and I run this file, I will get error, right? It say call to undefined method open on the Kindle class. So in order to fix that, we need to create an adapter. So an adapter is just a class, or a class that allows us to wrap a method on the, like, let me just give you an example to make it clearer. So but before we create the adapter, we need to create an interface for both of these class. So I'm going to create an interface. Alright, and I will call the first one Kindle interface. Alright, so this Kindle interface will have two methods, turn on and press next button, which we have already implemented, and the book interface, we are going to call it book interface. Alright, so we have another two method, which is open and turn to the next page, and we have implemented that also. Now let's create a new class called e-reader adapter. So what this class will do is that when we call new Kindle on that adapter, we can read that Kindle without changing this method. So here e-reader adapter is going to implement the book interface. And why do we do this is that when we want to, like what I said just now, I want to read the Kindle, I don't want to change this method. I don't want to open and turn to the next page. So the e-reader class will basically wrap the Kindle, wrap the Kindle method. So now I'm going to implement this book interface and just call the method which is open and turn to the next page. To make this easier, I'm going to inject the Kindle class, the Kindle interface to this e-reader adapter, and I'm going to call it a reader. Alright, I'm going to call constructor. So here we have, we inject the reader to this class and call it, we inject the Kindle to this class and call it a reader. So here I can specify the Kindle interface and call it as reader. And in this open method, we can call the Kindle, and in the an instance of Kindle, the method of the Kindle. So let's just see here, reader. Let's call it reader. Oops. Okay, I need to specify this. Reader turn on. So as we can see here, this turn on belongs to the Kindle class. Alright, this turn on method belongs to the Kindle class, but in our adapter we wrap this turn on method with this function, which is open function. This open method belongs to the book interface, and when we want to turn to the next page, we can specify this reader press next button. So as we can see here, the similarities is that when we call the turn to next page, right, on this adapter, e-reader adapter, it will call the press next button on the Kindle class. So now once we have this, we can go back to the index class and we just specify in this read, right, let's make it book interface, because we don't really care the class that the class that we are going to inject, but I mean, at least the class that we are going to inject should implement the book interface contract. So here when we do this, when we specify this, like our existing code here, when we want to run this, we will still get an error, and to fix that, we need to create new instance of the adapter, which is e-reader adapter, and I'm going to import that class, which is here. And if you guys use different text editor, you need to type this manually, but because I am using PHP Storm, I can automate this process. So I create a new instance of e-reader application, and I pass the Kindle there. Then when I run this, now I can, it will turn on the Kindle and pressing the next button to change to the other page. So as we can see here, we don't have to change this method, this method at all, okay? Because this Kindle, we pass this Kindle to the e-reader application, e-reader adapter that implements the book interface. So now, why is this adapter useful for us? How can this adapter useful and make our life more easier? For example, let's imagine if we have another class, right? Another, for example, another device, all right? And this device is a Nook. So N-O-K, Nook. Nook is almost similar to Kindle, but a little bit different, right? So in the Nook class, we are going to implement the Kindle interface, and we just let's just copy this, to save some time. I copy this method and change it a little bit. So turn on the Nook and press next button. I'm going to press the next button on the Nook to change to the other page. So this is going to be the method for the Nooks, for the Nook class. So this class implements the Kindle interface, the same as the Kindle, which implement the Kindle interface. So now imagine we have the Nook device, or the Nook device. So if you want to read the Nook instead of the Kindle, we just put Nook there, right? Nook. And I'm going to import this class at the top to make it more easier. Import the class. Alright, when I run this, now as we can see here, we turn on the Nook and we press the next button on the Nook to change to the other page. So we can see that we don't have to change this code at all. Alright, so we only have to make sure that the Nook implements the Kindle interface, and this Nook is passed to the e-reader adapter which implements the book interface. So by doing this, our code is we can like extend our code easily, and we don't really have to repeat anything. So if you want to read the Kindle, alright, just put it there. Kindle, we run this, it works fine. And if you want to read book, we just call the read book. We don't have to use the adapter this case, and we run it, open the book, turn to the next page to read the content. Alright, so this is the end of the video, and I hope that you guys understand on what I'm trying to explain. And this is basically the first video for the PHP design pattern. There will be more. Make sure you guys check it out. And if you guys like this video, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and if you don't like this video, check out my other video, and hopefully you will like it. So thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.